While others talk theory from their studios, I take you into the field to show you real deals, real investors, and real results. This is not classroom real estate. This is the unfiltered, boots on the ground playbook of the pros. Hi guys, my name is Brian Trippe. I live in Birmingham, Alabama, but I travel all across the country to bring you in-person interviews and property walkthroughs of professional real estate entrepreneurs. I'm so glad you're along for the ride, so let's get into today's show. What's going on, everybody? It's Brian Trippe. I'm here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Roll Tide. I'm here with Richard Henry, and we're going to talk today about, are you maybe investing too small? Are you thinking too small? Richard's story, and we're going to get into this here in a second, is they were doing a lot of single-family houses, and then they've gone almost primarily to commercial space. So let's just start right there, Richard. Why was that too small for you guys, and what are you up to today?
We started out like most people, buying rentals and buying flips, and we built a crew doing it. We had in-house construction. We got up to about 8 or 10 construction crew, office staff. Then we built a management company around it, started managing for other people. But on the investment side, buying $30,000 houses and making 20 grand and having the overhead, it just didn't move the needle enough. We started buying packages of houses, and it just got harder to find those. And we pivoted over to apartments, and then we sold all the apartments and really went all in COVID on office. And before that, we were already buying warehouse. And so, it's hard to do $500,000 in houses at one time. And we would sell, we would 1031 exchange a lot of them when we were selling the houses. Well, every time you 1031 exchange, you're selling at retail for a bigger number. It's hard to go by. You bought that house for 30, 40,000. The market went way up. You sell it for 130. Well, it's hard to go keep rolling. It kind of snowballs on you. And so what moved the lever the most for us was getting into bigger deals. We started out in the $500,000 range, got into the $1 million range. Kind of at the high point, we're in the $4 to $5 million range. Now we're really operating effectively in the $500 to $2 million range.
Mm-hmm. At a time.
Yeah, like deal size for us.
Yeah. So I want to kind of take it back a little ways, get into kind of your story, like how you even got started. I think a lot of folks get started in single family because maybe it's the easiest way to get started in real estate. It's maybe the lowest, barrier of entry is single family. And you're mentioning $30,000 houses. So it sounded to me like these are houses that you were going to rent out all along. So kind of take me back to the origin. How'd you even get going in real estate, and why single family?
Yeah. So I graduated college in 2006, got out, have a degree in building science. So was going
from Auburn.
From Auburn. Right. I'm an Alabama fan.
Right.
But,
sure we got
Auburn. That. I got out of school again, late 2006. Market's pretty hot. We start flipping some houses.
Why? How'd you even start? What got it on your radar to start flipping houses even then?
So I read a book my senior year in college, and it was written, I wish I could know the book now. I don't know what it is, but it was written by an engineer, and he had started flipping houses. And he said, I flipped a house and made half of my salary in one deal, or maybe the whole salary in one deal. He goes, this is a lot more fun than sitting in a desk being an engineer. And I just kind of read that and thought, that sounds a lot better than working for some big company.
So did you intentionally find this book and read this book? How'd you even find this book?
I don't know if I just bookstore looking at stuff.
Like the Lord just dropped it down in front of you.
And I remember asking one of my professors, I was still at Auburn, and I asked him, and he had done some of that kind of stuff. And I said, hey, what about this model of if you flip 3 houses a year, getting out of school, everybody's making 40 to 50,000. Like, what if I can make 20 a house and do 3 of them? He goes, the trouble is, can you do 3 a year? And I'll never forget that. And, and that is the trouble. Like, you can't just do 1 and make it take all year. You had to do 3. And so when I got out, I was doing construction, but also always flipping, and we eventually started keeping rentals. But I got lucky on timing that we were able to get 100% financing before the recession, no money in, and we flipped probably 3 or 4, maybe before 2008. And we had bought this house on Forest Lake in the middle of town. And we were going to make all this money, big house, big flip. And the market switched on us. We were able to get out, probably break even, but it took 9 months versus being able to do it in 3. We slowed down a little bit in the recession.
What were you doing during the recession?
I was doing construction. I built some townhomes for a local developer for a little while. And then my brother bought a moving company. At the time, it was a North American van line agency. Now they're with Atlas. They're in Birmingham now. But I went to work for him for a couple of, maybe 2 years.
So really didn't do much real estate?
I did a little bit. We started buying again probably in 09 or so. And I still flipped a little bit on the side, maybe 1 or 2 that were inexpensive. Started getting back going. Really, the lever for us was the tornado. Tornado, yep, April 27th, 2011. We were already back buying some rentals in Springbrook, a neighborhood where my granddad lived. We'd started buying some rentals, and we would do a few flips. But when that tornado hit.
So you say that tornado, I mean, this is like, just for context, this was one of the largest outbreaks of tornadoes in United States history, definitely in Alabama history. I think 156. Is that? I don't know why that number just came to my mind. But 100 plus tornadoes touched down in a certain amount of hour period, maybe a 12-hour period. And one of them was massive.
Yeah, it tore up about 11% of the city. It just, a swath right through the middle of town.
Right through the middle of town.
And it was a tragedy, and people died. But from the real estate side, the crazy thing that you don't really think about is how much insurance money came into the market.
Wow.
And so it's funny, another book I'd read, we went on a cruise with my family, and I'd bought a book. It was another house flipping book, and it was all about like the marketing. And it was, yellow letters, signs, websites, how to handle all of that. And I had read it spring break, so mid-March, and then the April 27th tornado hit. And so we went out and bought WeBuyDamagedHouses.com. We took on our system here, used Courthouse Retrieval System, CRS, and I could block off the path of the tornado in the prospecting search. And we built lists. We put up signs, and we sent a ton of yellow letters into the path of the tornado. And so this is probably 60 days afterward. So it was some amount of time. It wasn't like day one, everybody's trying to piece their life together. It was crazy. We got so many calls. I mean, we ended up starting to wholesale some of them because we couldn't buy all of them. My favorite story, this little old couple called us, and we went and met with them. They had this garden home right across from the University Mall that they had bought for their daughter. It got damaged. They bought her a house across the street. They just wanted to sell it. It needed about $15,000 to $20,000. It was probably worth $130,000 or something. And these folks went to church with my grandparents, and so I felt bad. I didn't want to lowball them. And I had a partner at the time, and he's like, "Just make the offer." I offered him like $50,000, and they said, "Could you do 55?" And I said, "Yeah, I can do 55." And we signed the paper, and I said, "Okay, what did insurance give you?" Mind you, I think they paid $125,000. It was probably worth around that. Oh, they gave us like $175,000. So while I felt bad, like I was taking advantage of these people probably knew they were taking advantage of me, so they made $200,000 or more on this $125,000 house. But I got a house at $55,000 that needed, 15. And so it was just that insurance money was the game changer. And so we really bought a ton of deals then. And that was also when, finally the foreclosures were starting around then. We started buying on the steps. We got up to probably 100 and something rental houses.
So a lot of these were flips.
So we would flip and buy rental. And our deal with the flips, I had a partner at the time. We would take the flip profit. He'd get a third, I'd get a third, and we'd leave a third in to keep going and growing. Because, the banks were harder back then, but the prices were cheap. So we could get we could buy houses for $20,000 back then. For
here
rent.
In Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. I mean, we'd rent them Section 8. We'd go down to the housing authority, talk to them. What are you looking for? And Oh, we need 4 bedrooms. We'd go buy a bunch of 4 bedrooms and rent them. And
So you ended up keeping rentals. What did that look like? You got up to, you said you were managing upwards of 600 rentals at one point. Obviously, all those weren't yours. You had a management company, but you had a bunch of rental property. It was just you and your partners? Did you bring in other money, or how did you?
No, I mean, we bootstrapped it. I mean, we started flipping a little bit. Again, we had made some money when you could get easy financing. Not a ton, but we would go buy a house, and fix it up in cash, $20,000, $30,000, go rent it for $850. And then we'd go.
Those are good numbers.
And, so we're $30,000, $40,000 into it. We'd go borrow 50 because it was rented for $850.
Your money back out.
We'd get our money back out and go do another one. And, and then we would flip some, and that would build kind of the bankroll. And so we were able we used a ton of bank debt. We were always borrowing money and building it that way.
Yeah.
And
how many did you get up to? Single families?
Between the two of us, we probably had around 100. We had some together. I had some with myself or my family. He had other partners on some other houses, but probably collectively around 100. We split up in, I think, 2016, maybe end of 15, early 16. So then I had mine. We had bought some apartments in 07 that we had that I took over management on. But at that time, it was just really the two of us. We had a couple of guys on the construction side that are still with me today. And we had a girl in the office who's now, my number 2. But we were just running out of a house we had bought that was kind of commercial, but it was still kind of in the ghetto. But we built that up. We split up, and then I moved out. And then 2016, I was kind of on my own. And then late 17, I got a call. Somebody needed help with a management company. And so I came in and helped them with a management company, and I was running it separate than my company. And then I think it was 18. So it started late 17, maybe end of 18. We merged them together, and that's when we got into the third-party management business. And at the same time, we're growing a management company where we'd manage for other people and ourselves, and we were still buying a bunch of houses early in that. Then, so you're 18, 19, interest rates are good. We're out of the recession, and we're able to start selling some of those houses that we had bought that were Section 8. That we were in them for 30, 40,000. We were able to start selling for like 120.
But what? Take me through. Why would you sell them at all? Why not just hang on to them?
I'm not sure I made any money on the rental side of those cheap houses.
Because there's a lot of maintenance?
Yeah. So, you're in it cheap, but a roof still costs the same as a roof on a $1,500 rental. The air conditioner costs the same. These cheap houses were cheap for a reason too. The foundations were not great. So a tenant would move out. Even let's assume a good tenant, you'd still end up spending $4,000 or $5,000 fixing the house up because the floor had settled over here.
Yeah, it was your whole profit for the previous year.
Yeah. So we made a bunch of money on the equity, the appreciation, but I don't know on a cash flow basis if we really made money cash flow.
But through the years, you were able to use those properties as leverage.
Oh, yeah.
To be able to pull money back out and to be able to use that return on equity.
That's right.
To start doing
and so we would sell that house for 125 or so. So let's just say
you just didn't like it as a long-term play. But for the moment, it seems like it was great because
I made a bunch of money when I sold all of them. That's.
But even even if you didn't cash flow it as much as you wanted to, you still to be able to use this as leverage.
Oh yeah, that's how we got started. It's how we got where we are today. It's funny. You see people. I'm 40, about to be 42. And I think about I wouldn't do that. At 22, that was the only way I could get started. Was to go buy that stuff. I wouldn't do it now, but then it was 100% how I got started.
Richard, your story is the more successful people I see in real estate, they start like that, like a little here, a little here. I didn't have a lot. It doesn't sound like you started with a whole lot. It's not like you started with millions of dollars or anything.
No.
I did a little here. I did a little here. Built up this. Pulled out. Bought this out. Made a great purchase. Got a great deal on a house. and got a great deal, was able to pull my money back out through a refinance. And I just kept doing it and kept doing it, kept sticking with it little by little by little. And now it's to the point to where we just talked about the very beginning is the single family space is too small for me now. But like you just said, that's how you had to do it to get going.
That's right. Yeah, I've never like raised capital. I'm not really, I don't know anything about all that. We just kind of started slow and just kept doing more and more.
And the folks I see who get in the biggest trouble, the folks I see who it looks like they're doing everything's great, they try to go too fast, too quick, and they crash. They are the ones raising a whole bunch of capital when they don't even really know the foundational stuff in real estate. They don't know the fundamental stuff in real estate that you learn by doing some of those smaller, crappy houses.
I mean, I know how to deal with a tenant, and I mean, the way I dealt with Section 8 tenants and learned from those experiences are no different than how I know what it looks like when somebody's starting to go broke, or I know how to, go fix a property, or I learned all of that by doing it.
Yeah. But so many people want to just skip that step. They want to skip those early years, that foundational stuff. And I've been teaching and mentoring and coaching people since 2017. So you're talking about over 8 years. I've been teaching people how to do real estate. The most successful people that I've coached and mentored are the ones that slow down and they realize, or they understand just through me telling them, you got to slow down and you've got to kind of take your lumps a little bit, not necessarily financially, but from hey, go swing a hammer. Mm-hmm. Go use learn PECs. Just learn what you're looking at, learn what you're doing so that you know for later.
That's right. I mean, we used to do all our own work in the early days.
Me too.
I mean,
that's how I had to do it. I didn't have anything.
We'd be laying tile at 10 o'clock at night. And
I remember I bought 6 houses that all sat right next to each other. And they were all just run down, just pieces of crap, right? I didn't know anything about real estate. It's my first purchase, all right? I go in, all I know is one at a time. My goal is just let me get this one fixed up, get it rented out, and now I'm going to move on to number 2. I didn't know anything. I couldn't even swing a hammer without hitting my thumb. I knew nothing. I hired a guy off Craigslist, just a handyman. He was teaching me just basic electrical, basic plumbing. But I knew absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. And just to have that 1.5 year education. I mean, that was college. That's real estate college right there for me. Having that background for me set me up for the future to be able to buy better properties, to be able to recognize how to deal with a contractor, how to deal with a tenant, all these things that you just want. So many folks just want it handed to you today. It's like you really need to get that on the job training.
I'll say one way you can get some of that if you're not in a place to start buying is property management. Like working either for residential or commercial property management. I mean, you get a front row seat and it's not your risk. You learn how to, you can go watch and learn how they're maintaining it or how they're rehabbing it or how they're leasing it. I mean, you get a front row seat to a lot of it. So if you're not able or don't have the risk tolerance to just start buying, you can learn a bunch by by working for property management.
Yeah. Well, Richard, well, guys, we're going to go take a look at a couple of properties that Richard's got going on. Any come to mind? What are we going to be looking at?
So I've gotten into a couple projects recently that I don't know that I would get into them again. We'll go look at them, but we bought 2 different old motels. One is like over by the interstate that we just converted to apartments. Okay. And then the other one is right in the heart of downtown Tuscaloosa, and we're converting it to condos. Okay. All right, stop right there. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to get in the field, which is what we do on this show, is actually get out and show you real estate that real investors are doing right now. We're going to go look at a couple of these things, and it's going to be really interesting. I have no idea what we're looking at, so I'm going to be in for a surprise just like you guys are, so stay tuned. Let me ask you something. Who's in your corner? One of the biggest breakthroughs in my real estate journey came when I stopped trying to figure it all out on my own and I started surrounding myself with high-level investors who are actually doing deals and building real businesses. That's why I created Board of Advisors.
a curated mastermind for real estate entrepreneurs who are serious about growth. We're talking real conversations about cash flow, hiring, deal flow, burnout, and strategy, the stuff that actually moves the needle. We're meeting October 6th and 7th in Birmingham, Alabama. And if you've been feeling stuck or isolated, or like your business could grow faster with the right people around you, then I want you to go to boamastermind.com and enter that promo code podcast. That way you get a deep discount. And that way you can join us. When I say deep discount, I really mean it. I'm literally only covering my costs to host the event. So go ahead and go to boamastermind.com, enter that promo code podcast. And I just want to be clear here, this isn't one of those flashy masterminds full of influencers trying to build their followings. This room is built for operators, real estate investors who want to scale their business, not their social media presence. Go to boamastermind.com, enter the promo code podcast, and meet me in Birmingham on October 6th and 7th. What's up, guys? We are in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We're looking at this house right here with Mr. Richard Henry. This is a flip for him, but this is an interesting area because, Richard, you just got done telling me that what's going to happen over here on this other side of the road.
So we're in Tuscaloosa, just off McFarland Boulevard, but my granddad moved in that house. You can just see the carport in like 1956. That's where my dad was raised. And so we slowly started buying houses around them. And between us and another family that we're friends with, we bought the whole front block. It's 24 lots. It's like 5.4 acres. It's about to be redeveloped.
What year was this?
That we started buying. So bought the first house next to my grandparents in like 01, really, and then kind of just bought opportunistic of when something came available. Really in 08, we started buying more. And really in like 12, 13, we made a decision to buy the block. And so part of that, we were always buying other houses. And so this house is actually across the street from the block. We would buy those. So we own the ones that are fronting it instead of having neighbors that were mad that we were doing it. We were the neighbors that were joining it. And so now that deal's about to come, hopefully about to close in the next 60 days or so. So we took this house that's been a rental for us probably 8 or 9 years.
Well, just real quick, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Richard. So all of this stuff that the camera's facing, all these houses right here, there's how many total? 20?
There's 24 lots.
24 lots. These are all going to be torn down.
Correct.
And this is going to be a big development.
Yep.
And what's coming in here?
So right now the plan they've got is Golden Corral, Dutch Brothers, Culver's, Fast Health or something, one of the dock in the boxes, I think a Valvoline oil change. So all freestanding, mostly like drive-through.
So this is pretty interesting to me that this is the phase we're in. We're in the phase where it's under contract. It's about to close. They're going to kind of have to come in here and tear all this down.
Correct.
Then they're going to have to start build. I mean, this is what, a 18-month project?
Yeah, so we've been under contract with this developer for 18 months or more. It's just taken a long time, but I mean, they'll go pretty quick. They'll probably try to get it built out in 6 to 9 months.
Jeez.
Once they
and they've already got them rented out. They've already got tenants.
Yeah, so they're going to buy the whole block, and then they'll sell some of the pads to some of the restaurants and businesses, and then some of them they'll hold and lease. Like the Dutch Brothers, they'll build the building for them, sign the lease with Dutch Brothers, and then once they move in, they'll sell it as a triple net single tenant investment.
Wow.
California buyer or something. So.
Wow. And so this one is going to be one you own today.
That's correct.
And you're going to hang on to it.
No, we're going to sell it.
Oh, you are going to?
So now that this development's going through across the street, we don't really have a need for the house. We've rented it for a long time. The values have gone up. It was in a state where it needed some repairs. So we just came in and did a traditional like flip on it, gutted the bathrooms and kitchen and fixed it all up, and we're going to sell it.
So forgive me, Richard, who's going to want to buy a house that's going to be facing a big development? That's a little interesting, isn't it? They know about it.
Well, they will. We haven't put it on the market yet, but yeah, they will. We'll disclose it. I mean, you think about how many listings do you see that say close to shopping or right next to restaurants and services? I mean, you can walk to Dutch Brothers. I mean, some people may like it, some people may not, but I mean, we've found in other parts of town the houses near commercial development normally do pretty well because people like being near services.
Yeah.
And it'll be better than the old houses across the street.
Yeah. So will you get any more value out of it with it being so close to?
I think it'll be a wash.
Tell us what kind of flip you're going to do. What would it retail for? What's the price you're going to ask for?
So I think we're going to ask $189.
So $189,000. How many bed and bath?
3.2.
So a 3.2 in Tuscaloosa, right off McFarland Boulevard, is going to go for about $189,000. Who's going to buy this, Richard? A homeowner or someone who's going to want to rent these? Because when I think of Tuscaloosa, I think of student housing. I think of somebody might buy this as an investment property.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be an investor. I think highest probability is either somebody wants to live here, maybe a grad student. Probably mom and dad buy this thing for their kids to live here while they're in school, rent out 2 bedrooms to roommates. Probably what'll happen. I think it'll be priced a little too high. This would probably rent for maybe $1,500. So at $189, getting $1,500, I don't know if an investor will do that or not. But if you're $189 and you get $1,000 by renting 2 bedrooms out and using one for your kid, I think that's what we'll probably see.
Mm.
So it kind of started snowballing on us. The project did. We ended up gutting the kitchen, putting the LVL in the ceiling, opening it all up. It turned out nice. One of the bathrooms, the shower pan had cracked, so we ended up gutting the bathroom.
This is a standard flip. There's nothing special about it. What's in the electric panel? Is just regular breakers, or is it?
Yeah, it's regular breakers.
Did you have a few situations?
We looked. No, they probably did when they put this in. We looked at moving it, but it was going to be like $3,000 or $4,000 just to move the panel, so we left it there.
Gotcha. And then we're just standard. Got bedrooms, and we got another.
So we got another bath.
But this is connected to the master.
Yeah, we cut it. It was just a hall bath. We cut a door in to
2 hall baths back to back.
Yep.
That's true.
So we cut a door in the bedroom to where we could call it a little bit more of a master.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, I mean, very stereotypical flip.
Yep. And this just seems like one of those flips that we would do in Birmingham where you're just kind of in and out. You got, LVP. You do have stone. You do have granite. Countertops. They don't cost that much more, although you do have a lot of countertop space. I'm just trying to think if there's anything different than what we would normally see. You got an actual dining area, kitchenette kind of thing.
So this neighborhood, there were only 2 floor plans in the whole neighborhood. They were either 2 bedroom, 1 bath, or 3 bedroom, 1 bath.
Mm-hmm.
But over the last 60 years, they've all been modified a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So they're the same floor plan base, but then where that dining room is, that would have been an addition. They've just been little modifications over the years. So.
Gotcha. The main thing I wanted y'all to hear the plans that Richard and his team have for what's going on across the street, which I think is really cool and really interesting, that they've got 24 units, 24 lots that are all being sold right now under contract for $4.9 million. And this is all going to be a big development very, very, very soon. And they have this house in addition to that and are flipping it. Richard, anything else I'm missing?
No, it's a very traditional flip. So I think it'll do well. The neighborhood's been more stabilized lately, and they're getting close to 200. So I think we'll probably be nicer than most that have sold for, at a competitive price comparatively.
Perfect.
Let me ask you something. Who's in your corner? One of the biggest breakthroughs in my real estate journey came when I stopped trying to figure it all out on my own and I started surrounding myself with high-level investors who are actually doing deals and building real businesses. And I want you to go to boamastermind.com and enter that promo code PODCAST. That way you get a deep discount, and that way you can join us. Go to boamastermind.com, enter the promo code PODCAST, and meet me in Birmingham on October 6th and 7th.
What's up, guys? We are in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Roll Tide. We are in smack dab in the heart of Tuscaloosa, right here on the main drag. This I would consider to be prime real estate. Richard, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so this was the old Masters Inn motel. We bought this back parcel with about 110 rooms. I think the front parcel that we did not buy was about 32 rooms. And it was a sketchy, shady motel. They were in the process of losing their business license from the city. And a friend of mine was listing it for sale and called me. when we bought this probably 3 or 4 years ago, like workforce housing, affordable housing, all of that stuff was so hot button of a topic. We really wanted to try to offer a flexible product that, construction workers or travel nurses, people needing something affordable and flexible. They didn't want to do a 12-month lease necessarily. So we put all this together, and I bought it with some partners, 2 brothers, and we came in, had to completely rehab the motel, had to add sprinklers because we were switching from like a lodging use to an apartment use. So it had to be sprinkled. Just fixed everything up. We filled in where the old pool was and then went into the units, and we furnished some. A lot of them are unfurnished. But our plan is we would rent to you like a base 12-month lease was like $500 plus $100 in utilities because the whole property is still master metered from the hotel for power, water, everything. So you could rent like $600 for 12 months. And then if you went 6 months, it was like another $100, 3 months, another $100. So it'd be like $1,000 if you just wanted 1 month. So we thought that it was a great flexible product. We called it Flex Studio Apartments. And in the beginning, we had a fair amount of travel nurses and different things wanting fully furnished short term. But as time's gone on, I think the travel nurse market has slowed, and we're not seeing that flexible use. Now what we're seeing a lot of is just unfurnished 12 months because we're an inexpensive option for a 1-bedroom. But we can go inside and take a look. There's still basically a motel room.
Mm-hmm.
We took out the old bathroom vanity and put in more of a kitchen sink style. Again, the power all being master metered.
Mm-hmm.
All the electrical runs back to the main mechanical room. So it's not easy. There's not like an electrical service for each unit. So it's not easy to add power. So they don't have stoves in them. They do have a refrigerator and microwave, but they don't have a stove. So that is one knock on it. But it's 110 rooms or units. It's been real slow for us leasing them, but I think we're in the 80 range right now.
80%?
Yeah, or 80 units, so probably a little bit less than 80%.
Gotcha.
So probably in the 75% range. But for us, we bought it at a good price, so break even was around 50% occupancy. So
First of all, does Tuscaloosa they don't allow Airbnb, do they?
they do, but they heavily restrict it.
So they wouldn't even allow you to do that?
They would. We didn't really want to operate in that business because we're self-managing this. And so we wanted to make sure we were able to handle it.
So this is just a typical motel.
Yeah, I mean, it's the old motel room setup. They had 2 queens in it. We switched this out. It just had like a sink. We added some cabinets, microwaves. But the bathrooms are still pretty original. By no means a fancy product, but that wasn't our target. Our target was for affordable.
So they've got some in Birmingham. I think they even have some down here, like extended stays.
That's right.
So that's kind of like the model.
Yeah, the weekly rental. The difference there is you can just show up and pay with a credit card. So there's no credit, no background.
So you do
We
credit.
didn't do that. We run this. I mean, it's a traditional lease, traditional credit background. We run it like an apartment complex, not a motel.
Is there any thoughts on kind of switching that model to try to get that occupancy rate up?
If we would have gone shorter term, but when we changed the zoning to be able to be allowed for longer term, we can't legally do anything under 30 days. You can only do one or the other in our zoning code. You can either be an apartment or you can be a hotel. You really can't be both.
And you didn't want to be in the hotel business?
Yeah, I didn't want to be in the hotel business. So, but our goal is when we get this thing to about 90%, we'll take it to market and sell it. We don't really want to be long-term operators here. We've been in it a couple of years. And it's fine. So we've been real restrictive of who we rent to because we've got to deal with it. When we do get it filled up, we'll take it to market and sell it.
So Richard kind of talked me through, you are actively looking to sell parts of things that you buy if maybe it doesn't fit maybe your long-term approach.
Yeah. So, I mean, for us, we analyze everything every year, like a return on equity, a cap rate, all this kind of stuff. And we may look at a property and go, we're not getting a very good return on equity. Well, we could run the debt up on it and borrow a bunch, but it's 7% right now. That's not as attractive to do. So we will look at something and go, hey, if we can get 10 years worth of cash flow out of selling it, or if it's a management nightmare, if we see big CapEx coming up in the future years, we will sell stuff. We 1031 exchange. but we do roll inventory, not normally real fast, but we will kind of slowly roll inventory over. In this, I've got some partners. It's operationally more involved than we like. So for me, I'd be happy to sell, and then we'll 1031 our half of the deal out into something else. And my partners are on the same page too.
Just going back to my old mobile home park days, I know a lot about master meters and things like that, which you just mentioned earlier. I got into a situation with the water where the water was on one bill. I got the bill and I had to go and separately bill everybody else. Everything for you is just on one thing. There's no way to really meter individually. So what I experienced kind of like some abuses of the water, and abuses because they're not having to be held accountable. Are you kind of seeing some of that?
A mobile home, you can have a hose and you can wash
correct.
cars. You know, we capped every outside hose bib, so there's no way to like wash cars here.
And for us, up underneath the trailers, there's leaks, and we don't even own the trailers anymore, but we're having to be responsible for other people's leaks.
We don't have as much of that exposure, and you can only do so much in 250 square feet, so it hadn't been as bad. I mean, the utilities aren't cheap. I mean, it's a big part of it, but there's no real way to divide it out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the good or bad thing is there's only so much power capacity.
Sure.
If they pull too much power, they'll throw a breaker. Mm-hmm. And so there is some limit there.
Yeah. What are some other challenges with this property besides, getting it rented?
Yeah, I mean, the challenge, most of it comes back to leasing, but I mean, it's desirability. Mm-hmm. Our thesis is that people were more motivated to have something inexpensive and flexible. And what really people want, they're willing to pay a little bit more to have something nicer. Mm-hmm. Until you get into a bottom tier, and we're trying to stay out of that from a management standpoint.
Makes it harder to manage.
Yeah. I mean, and as you get into bigger properties, they get more complex, more things to spend money on. We've had to rewire units that we didn't know wiring was bad. We've just found underlying maintenance issues, but we believe in doing it right and making sure things are fixed right. So we've taken time to do that. So by the time we get done with it, we'll hopefully have worked all the bugs out of it for the next owner.
Awesome. We're going to talk about this project he's got going on here in 1 second. Brand new park right here. It's got built. The Tuscaloosa Amphitheater is right there over the river. And the new Sabin Center is being built
right behind that hotel.
Right here behind this
hotel. On the other side of the bridge, you can kind of see the
brand new Sabin Center. That's Nick Saban, by the way. Greatest college football coach of all time. And what's the Saban Center going to be real quick, Richard?
So it's like a discovery museum similar to a McWane, but it's also got more arts and science. It's a STEM hub for the state of Alabama. The state just put a bunch of money into it. So I think $74 million or so is the contract they just signed this week for construction. So it's going to be a big project, game changer in downtown.
So where we're sitting right now, Richard, you would consider this to be we're on the corner of Jack Warner Parkway and Greensboro. We're in the middle of everything right here.
That's right. So downtown Tuscaloosa is just above us. Chuck's Fish, Embassy Suites, a lot of great restaurants and bars, entertainment and hotels there. You got the new Parker Hahn Park, like you said, the amphitheater, Saban Center. The city's done a ton of money in infrastructure. They just rebuilt Jack Warner Parkway, Greensboro Avenue. So we're really right on the corner of Main and Main downtown. The river's just right there. You can see the bridge over it. So.
And then just for those that don't know, where is the university in relation? How close are we to the university?
The university's probably a mile back across downtown. So not far at all.
And then this project right here that's going on is your project.
It used to be a motel 50, 60 years ago. It was kind of used as apartments for the last 30 or 40 years. It was really a slum, really poor condition. And so some local bankers and an attorney had bought it, and they were going to do like a boutique hotel or something with it. And they just got where they didn't have enough time to do the project. And so it sat here for a while. We bought it from them. I've got some partners on it. And we're converting what was 40 motel rooms into 20 one-bedroom, one-bath condos. And then in the basement, fronting Jack Warner Parkway, there's 5,000 to 6,000 square feet of commercial space. The commercial space actually comes all the way under the parking lot there where you can see these trucks. That's on top of the basement. So big, really neat space down there with like 16, 18-foot ceilings.
And you'll rent that out to people like who?
Yeah, we'll white box it, get it moving, or not moving ready, but we'll get it where you can see it and look good. It's going to be a little hard because downstairs doesn't have any parking, but it'd be a cool speakeasy or golf simulator place. Really neat kind of office space. Really any kind of creative use where you want to be in a neat location, but you don't have a whole lot of traffic. It'd be hard for a restaurant.
So why condos? So if it's a condo, y'all are going to end up selling them.
Yeah, we'll sell all
But
of
you'll
them.
keep the retail space.
We'll keep the commercial space downstairs. Unless somebody wants to buy it, it'll be a separate condo where we could sell it. But our intent is to keep the commercial space, sell off the condos.
Why'd you choose to go that route instead of keeping them as like apartments or?
I don't think the rent would be high enough versus what we can sell them for. I think we'll sell them in the low 300s. And I don't know what a one bedroom would, I can't imagine it rent for much more than $1,200 to $1,500. So it's hard to keep something at $1,500 a month and we can sell it for $300 or so.
For sure. Okay, so and then take me through what are y'all doing to this place, because it looks like there's a lot going. You told me earlier it was in pretty rough shape.
Yeah, so we gutted it all the way to the structure. I mean, and even that we only kept about half of that. So we tore out all the walls, all electrical, mechanical, plumbing, and we're going in and replacing everything. So we reframed them upstairs. The ceilings were only 7.5 feet high, so we ended up vaulting the ceilings upstairs. Reframed them. We had to sprinkle it because we changed the use and did over 50% improvements. So we ran fire
sprinklers and added sprinklers.
Yeah, like we added fire sprinklers. They're in the process now of adding columns, adding hardy soffit and fascia. So next week we'll come in and paint it all. It's going to be like a black color with white windows, replace the roof. So it's going to be essentially brand new except for the structure. Have to do landscape, park, and all that.
Who is your ideal client here? What's the type of person that's going to buy a condo like this? Is this like a football condo? That's what I think of when I think of Tuscaloosa.
I mean, for me, I think of if I wanted a place, if I lived in Birmingham or some other city, I want a place in Tuscaloosa. Yeah, 7 weeks a year you'd like to be on campus, but I'd rather eat at Chuck's and go to Session downtown than go to Galette's and Phil's on campus.
You don't sound like a college student anymore.
I know. I mean, not as a college student. I'd rather live in downtown, be on the Riverwalk near restaurants and bars, and you can catch a golf cart into the game. So I think you'll have a game day use. I think you'll have some parents that buy it for their child at school. Since we're sprinkling it, you'll be able to do short-term rental. You got to get some approvals, but you shouldn't have any trouble. So I think we'll have people that'll use it some, do some short-term rental. I don't really foresee somebody living there full time, but they could. The units are kind of small with not a lot of closet space. But this building down here is going to be 10 units. The building up there will be another 10. So there's 5 on the bottom and 5 upstairs. These end units are a little bit bigger. This is going to be the living room and kitchen. So the kitchen's all roughed in. It'll be all the way along this back wall. We've replaced all the windows, doors. I mean, you can tell everything. This is where the old bathrooms were. So this room was 1 unit, and so we've added.
It was a hotel unit. It was a motel.
Yeah, it was just a motel unit. So it just had a bathroom and room for a bed. And so now this will be the bedroom in here, closet, then bathroom there. Have stacked washer dryer in the bathroom. So they'll be small, but 1 bedrooms. But we're going to fix them and make them real nice. We'll scrape all these ceilings, slick everything. Hopefully, hang sheetrock in about 2 or 3 weeks. This project has been very involved. It's going to be really nice when we get done, but it's taken a lot longer than we would have expected, and permitting and construction too.
How would you get financing for something like this? Because you got to buy it. You got to come in here and just do all this work up front. Seems costly.
So we got a construction loan through Alabama Credit Union, and on this one we put our 20% of the deal in up front. They loaned us the balance at that time, and then now as we progress on the construction, we call the bank and say, hey, we're now 30%, we need to draw X amount of dollars at this time. They come out and inspect it. We send them a list of what we spent the money on, and as long as they agree with it, then they fund the money as we go.
How specific can we get with the dollar amounts?
So we paid $1,750,000 around there for the property, and our expectation was to spend about that much we'll probably spend more than that.
So you're talking about 3.5 plus.
Yeah, so
You'll
you're
be in
talking
it for
$3.5 to $4 million. But if you've got 20 condos at $300,000 a piece, is $6 million. Then you've got the commercial space. Again, we may go over that on construction. The construction is gone over a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
gotcha.
And time has taken a lot longer, but I think we'll still make decent money selling condos and have the commercial space left.
How much risk is involved in a deal like this?
Not being able to cash flow, it's probably a risk because they don't want to finance your interest carry. So we've got to be able to cover some of that out of pocket. And then getting stuck on the construction. And I'll say for us, we self-perform a lot of this work. The demo, carpentry, concrete, a lot of that stuff. And it's just taken us a long time to get that done. And so having the knowledge to do it, this is probably on the upper end of complexity of a job we like to do. Mm-hmm. We really needed the work 18 months ago when we bought this. We were slow construction-wise, and it took a year to get permitting. Wow. And so by that time, all of our other projects were kicked off, and so we didn't really need the work. But now we're here for a few days. We pull off, go to other projects to keep everything else going. So schedule-wise, it's been a juggling act for us. It made it take longer.
So just from the fact that the clock's running on the money, you're not cash flowing and nothing's coming in.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like everything right now is going out.
That's right. But fortunately for us, we can kind of keep different buckets of deals. We can only do so much development or speculative work. Then we've got cash flow jobs. So as long as other stuff's rented and doing well, then we can afford to cash flow a job like this. So, but yeah, time is of the essence.
So, and it's just, again, from someone who doesn't really know any better, this is going to sell presumably for $300,000, a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo. That seems like crazy steep, but that's, we're a mile from the stadium. You're right here in the middle of everything, and that's just what it demands.
That's
out
right.
Here in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, especially for essentially brand new, they're going to be very nice. We think we'll hit the mark on it.
Awesome. Do all the rest of them, they're all going to look like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
The floor plans may vary a little bit, but pretty close. It's hard to beat this corner in town, and then they'll be nice on the inside. So, but it is a lot of work, and probably more work than we estimated in the beginning. But once you get in the middle of one of these, there's not much you can do. You got to keep going, keep plowing ahead. So that's what we're doing, and it's starting to pick up speed now. So hopefully we'll be in the fall, start getting some stuff ready to deliver.
Awesome. Richard, thank you so much for giving us a tour of Tuscaloosa and showing us around and showing us everything you're up to, man.
Sure, anytime.
Awesome.
Thanks.
See you guys on the next one.
Thanks so much for listening to today's show. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you got any value today, please take 30 seconds and leave us a quick review. To get connected with me or to become a part of the Board Advisors community, go to boamastermind.com. That's boamastermind.com. We'll see you guys on the next one.